Really?
2 bedrooms, 1 bath.
All right.
Okay.
That'll work perfect. Give me that info.
It's 9 a.m.
Your phone.
Morning, everyone. Happy New Year. We are about to start our first meeting of the new year. We'll call it to order. Did everybody have a chance to read the minutes?
Yep,
Oh, yeah.
I would propose we accept them.
Nancy, thank you. Second. Michelle, second. All in favor? Anybody opposed? Easy peasy. It's passed. All right, new business, Maple Street garbage cans. How exciting.
Yes,
What is that about?
trash.
Let's talk trash.
So this has been something that's come up, from the various tenants on Maple Street. And, I've looked all around and it's really one of the only places in the city and downtown that has this problem. Well, my Google map will work. Okay, so Maple Street, there on both sides, actually, there's not, some of these businesses don't have rear entry. And particularly this one here and like Mini Batch and the barbershop next door, they don't have any back entries where people normally store their trash cans.
Oh.
And so they've been storing them on the side.
Oh.
And so we've gotten some complaints on that. And then
They have to cross the street to put the trash.
No, that's the Harrison's trash.
yeah, so the ordinance currently does not, people are only supposed to bring their trash out on trash day. Where, people who have rear entries, they leave them just on the back side of their building. There is some rules on like a concrete pad and different things like that. And so then this one in particular, and it's the same problem over here, like Mini Batch's trash cans go here, but that there's not businesses there, so we don't really get complaints about that. But this one, and then the new tenants that are going in here, they had contacted me. It was before the holidays, with, they're trying to figure out what to do with it as well. And they had asked about putting some type of enclosure that's,
A fence.
decorative, but that at least conceals it. That would still also require some type of ordinance change because it's an encroachment on the sidewalk.
Mm.
So, because currently the trash cans are already an encroachment on the sidewalk. Like I said, there's no other place that has this problem. Well, you talked about it with Public Works, a while ago, and, because they also, they aren't anymore, but they were initially looking at a place for, grease, because they're putting a kitchen in.
Oh, my.
And that's been resolved. But when I was talking with Public Works about it, there's a Chinese restaurant over off of Canoga Road where the city, which I'm not in favor of, I'm just saying this is what they've done before, is it's on the other side of the road where I guess they had allowed that. We're not doing that.
They put the trash on the other.
Their grease disposal. We're not doing that there, but the trash cans is a legitimate problem for only these two areas here. And so I just wanted to kind of see what the thoughts are.
Well, the first question I have is, I didn't think a building that the public can go in.
Could not have a
Could not
rear,
have a back
yeah,
door.
had to have a rear exit.
These,
They have,
This one has 2 exits. They has 2 exits.
so their rear exit is,
so they have 2, but the mad scientist doesn't have 2 numbers?
No.
yeah, I don't think, I mean, probably, and Bill, you might be able to answer something like the age of the buildings and the way they're laid out. They're just kind of get pat, away from.
Grandfather.
Yeah.
It's just a grandstand in.
Yeah, it's not, Mad Scientists, or I don't know if they have a side, they have a back, or Mad Scientists might not. But then mini batch is the one that particularly has the garbage problem in that section, and then the barber shop next door, because they're, see how they're both like triangles in.
Two questions. Does the city own the depot? Where the,
Yeah.
so that little park area, is there any way to put a nice looking dumpster, for lack of a better word? I know it's, well, that's one question before, and then the railroad
Mhm.
where people park when there's a big thing at
Mhm.
Homemade Noodle Pasta, or we have had people park up against the railroad. Is that city property?
So both of those are railroad right of way, and a lot of places and a lot of cities do, like, cause I was looking at Brevard and they had done like a shared dumpster, which was like like instead of having roll out trash cans for certain areas, they did a shared municipal dumpster,
Mhm.
which we don't have the trucks currently to do pickup for a dumpster. We have trucks that do the
Well, who picks up like the dumpster?
Jamie, can I just add one thing? It's Lyle to your presentation of the issue, just so.
yeah.
Okay. So what we need to keep in mind is a couple of things, that this use is not going to be a dry retail use. It's going to be a full service food concept, which is going to require food to be placed into these
Lot of trash.
dumpsters. So you have that issue, just understanding what kind of trash it is, and then the amount of trash. These are 50-gallon toters. They'll need an extensive amount of toters to handle the food service, and having those toters with food in it on days that's not picked up will create a kind of an odor and some sort of issue. So what's most important is to keep in mind what type of trash it is, the volume of the trash, and then I personally witnessed an ADA issue with that sidewalk during the farmer's market, when a family that had a child in a wheelchair, they had to get off of the sidewalk because of the people in the trash cans blocking the ADA access. And that was what alerted me to being an issue with that. So that's just what I want to add to this.
Well, it's interesting. So that's going to be a food service business, which obviously I guess it's zoned, even though they don't have everything you need currently, the garbage issue.
Yeah, that area is zoned for food service, but it's really the building inspection that requires, all the requirements for whatever, the building department and health department, as far as what's inside and how that requirements are for that. And I'm not sure where they are with all of that currently.
Is there anywhere?
Excuse me, 1 second. Gigi was going to say something earlier. She never had her chance. Does everyone know Gigi? She's
Hi.
on the committee.
Yep, I'm new in the committee, rebuilding.
Sorry.
New. And I feel like I have a voice. I've been there for a year and I see how movement is. The concern I had for the depot is I know for a fact there's a lot of homeless that hang
Yeah.
out there. And if we're talking about food disposal,
Yeah.
that's gonna be a mess. They already have a mess going on
Right.
there and there wasn't a very attractive site. The other thing I have noticed being on that building for a year is that there needs to be a really attractive sidewalk for the pasta noodle lady, for M&T. They're trying to establish their businesses here on that little side street, and there is no traffic going in those side streets and
We have Art League has a very bad sidewalk too.
Exactly.
Yeah, but that's a whole nother story.
Yeah, we're talking about trash cans right now.
that.
So is there anywhere in the back? Cause like we do with Hannah's and Three Chop and me and, we have that in the
You have a big
parking
dumpster.
lot. It's
Yeah.
not the city. We maintain it and we pay and everything. The city doesn't do it, but I guess the city gave them permission to put it there.
So the city doesn't have own any properties there. However, Linda and Lyle, who are on the call, both have all of those properties on that block, except for the property where that specific, so that one building is the only one that's not owned by Linda or Lyle in that
Right, Henderson.
area. But we don't have, the city does not own any of the properties there, like how we own the Azalea lot where that trash can is.
Michelle makes a point, a bunch of businesses went in together and they pay for this. Maybe that business needs to pay for private pickup more frequently
They don't have a place to put it.
at all.
Problem is,
Well, then,
Is the lot across the street, you mentioned that it's railroad property where that vacant lot is?
Mhm.
And how about that little building?
it's railroad right away.
Railroad right away.
Yeah, the building is owned by an individual, but the land is railroad right of way. So any type of structure that goes on any of that railroad right of way has to get approval from the railroad.
well, Lyle, you must have some idea since it's a business you're in having going to, I guess it's your building.
He doesn't
No,
own that.
it's, I don't own that building.
Okay, I thought maybe,
Properties, yeah.
I thought maybe you had.
It's a big issue. I mean, it's a situation where they took a space that is not really conducive for the use, not having all of the services or the requirements, but somehow or another, the way the code's written, they're able to try to push the envelope and make this happen. But again, it's like taking a square peg, putting it through a round hole. So, this is just an issue they got to figure out.
No.
They have to figure
Small
out.
Square behind it.
Linda, do you have some suggestions?
I guess I have more comments than suggestions. So either way, number one, I don't think we have the room on the sidewalk to have the trash cans. And I told Jamie I ran into a situation with a homeless person when we were doing the streetscape where they were in between the trash cans doing something you never want to see someone doing on the sidewalk. So I do believe the trash cans on the sidewalk are a huge problem. And either way, they're going to have to store something inside because let's say, for example, we do a communal dumpster in the back off of the edge of my parking lot, which is where we had one previously, and that is a consideration. But they're still going to have to roll whatever they have from their building all the way around the corner to where that could be on Triple Street. So is that really a good solution for somebody like that? I almost wonder if the railroad land and maybe the city or maybe them getting some form of easement to put a pad and a dumpster over there is a better solution. They're still going to have to roll stuff though, which means they're going to have to store it inside until they roll it out.
Well, and that still doesn't address the problem with dumpster diving if you just put it, unless you do get permission and then you put a big locked fence around
They
it.
can put a lock on.
Yeah.
Or they do an enclosed air-conditioned garbage room within their space with drainage, which is done in very, common type of situations like this.
And then they put it out at trash day and take it back in.
Correct. And then subject to whatever the city, does as far as if they leave the trash cans out, on days that it shouldn't be.
So you guys can see where it shows Track Street, that area is where we currently have a small pad. It's not a huge pad.
Around here.
And previously Daddy D's was using that, but just look aesthetically, if we did that, look how far they have to bring their trash.
Well,
I mean-
that's not a problem created by anything other than that particular kind of business being there,
Yeah.
right?
Mm-hmm. I mean, I'm not so sure that's a good solution to their problem.
But no matter what type of business is there, there's still going to be rollout trash cans, whether it's food or anything. There's still going to be a trash can that's on the sidewalk. Yeah.
Always been.
Yeah. So let's think like the problem is legitimate, but like
Yeah.
the cans on the sidewalk is
The problem.
going to be a problem regardless.
Well,
Can the dumpster be put, Linda, in that pad right there? I mean, that sounds like the only
Well-
feasible solution
well,
so far.
I mean, there's a possibility of that, but again, the distance that they're having to travel, I don't think makes it a realistic solution for them. And the other thing you guys need to think about is every time we have trash day, everyone puts their trash cans out on the sidewalk because that's where the city picks them up. So if they store their trash inside, which I kind of feel is probably the better solution, they're going to put it out on the sidewalk for pickup, just like everybody else does, and then take it back and put it in their building.
But I think the point here is that situation is to be removed.
What?
All garbage cans will be off the sidewalk,
Yeah,
Well,
that's
that's
what,
regardless of,
Yeah.
use.
yeah, because that's the same problem over here,
Yeah.
which
Yeah.
there's not room in the building. Taking away if a business should have been put into a space that doesn't fit or not, the problem is still there.
Match now, push theirs on the street.
They just stay there on the.
They can roll it around to the back.
Mhm.
If push comes to
Yeah.
shove,
Mhm.
it's not preferred, but frankly, if you're doing it yourself, it's better than having it sitting by your front door.
Yeah,
I'd much rather push it out to the back alley
yeah.
and say, here it is.
Mhm.
Right?
So will the
The other one
city
is-
pick up?
The Linda's is, that's,
This, and Linda doesn't own this one.
that's a pretty far
This is HBO.
distance to go.
Yeah, this one is HBO Properties. It's owned by a different landlord
Well, yeah.
here.
So, well, first of all, if you put out your garbage once a week on, what day is it?
Tuesday.
Tuesday's picked up.
Mhm.
So now that we don't want garbage on the sidewalk, are you gonna tell everyone to move it to the street? If you're gonna make.
Not now, it's what's already written in the ordinance.
And
It's
everyone sort of leaves it. Well, some people have a driveway. They,
not, it's just the one, it's just here, because all the other ones are in like the alley
okay.
back of.
So it's
business.
just this one.
Well,
Yeah, because there's not any other ones that have that issue.
Yeah. They're stored in the alleyways or behind the building, but on trash day, the trash pickup comes right off the sidewalk.
Yeah. Well, the person that owns that little building that across the street from them
That's
on,
the railroad. You can't touch it.
they own the building too, the railroad?
No, the building's individually owned.
Things individually owned.
Would they, and they have a gated yard, would they consider a lease for a short-term solution in their yard?
Basically, what I had told them, the business going in, I said that putting it on the sidewalk, I said that I will bring about the enclosure for the sidewalk to this committee, but then if you're looking for other options with private trash, you need to work on that with your neighbors. Cause that's kind of gets out of our,
Yeah.
But you don't want to block the sidewalk with
No.
the screened garbage anyway, because they're,
Yeah.
filled out the sidewalk.
yeah, that, I was gonna bring that if there was any thoughts from here. And I told them that it's probably an unlikely thing, so keep looking for options, basically. And that if they were wanted to be persistent on it, then to come to I'll invite them to a board to meeting to talk.
I don't even see us being the solution to this.
Mm-mm.
It's like the city, Department of whatever department, all
Works.
Public Works has to, because there's so many regulations and so many things. I don't see
Yeah.
us doing anything about this.
No, the only thing is if this committee wanted to be in favor, that was the main thing, was just
Yeah.
the structure that I wanted to bring to this committee, because it's not a decision for me to make.
Do we need to do a motion thing or do we just need to say we're
I
not?
think I got a general idea on that.
Okay. So we don't have a solution back to Public Works.
Yes, I think that, yeah,
So,
it's been discussed, and then that's a good,
so that's new business is gone business. Yeah,
yeah.
we're done. Okay, so moving on, unfinished business, which won't be finished today. Because it's a lot to go on and because of craziness, we didn't get a chance to look at all this amazing amount of work
Yeah, it's sorry it took me
together.
so long.
Working really hard. So I found just personally, the easiest one to look through was I think it was this one.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I'm wondering if we should get this out of the way first, or do you want us to start on?
Kind of go, well, so I think that's probably, because that first one that you're looking at, which is this on the screen, is kind of the background information, the why we're doing it. And most of the stuff in that is stuff that we have already gone through.
Yeah, but
And that's just a table of contents that's got to get updated. with
except
it.
you repeated yourself, number 5 and 6 are the same.
Yeah, that's why I've got these
7 and 8 are the same.
letters that this needs to be finalized after it's.
But do we want a final review of this, or there's,
Well, this is the table of contents, so that will.
I know.
After
5 and 6 are the same thing exactly, and 7 and 8 are the same thing exactly. What they're called.
I'll go back to that,
Okay.
because that will be if we add new pages in.
Okay. So what do you want to do? Do you want to look at this?
I don't know, y'all, like, so let me just kind of go through what all we've got, and then we can kind of,
Which one are we going to look at first?
so we'll start with that one. Yeah, and we'll just kind of briefly go through it. And Gigi, just for background, we've been working on this public art plan for
I am.
a while now, yeah.
Years.
I'm all ears, sisters.
And so I'll kind of go through it, and then probably the best way would be to kind of take it at home, mark it all up, and send me your notes back, because there's just a lot to it. And I was just trying to get it as something.
Get something down on paper.
Get a
get going.
paper in our
I mean, we've been trying to do this
Yeah, yeah,
a while, but this is not going to be a quick thing. We want to do it right.
yeah, yeah,
It's an ongoing process.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So first, just executive summary, it's just everything that's in there. Won't go into much detail.
It's interesting, HPAP, which sounds like a medical procedure for snoring. But it's a nice acronym for us to be able to talk about what's going on.
Then just introduction and about the document, all pretty simple. What is public art? So I went through and stole it from another public art plan of some of the definitions of the types of public art that we would address in this plan. Just being specifically on visual.
The integrated and infrastructure one, is there a little round?
It's a picture of on 26, Interstate 26, at some of the underpasses, there's like little medallions of like art. So like when it's integrated into like retaining walls and bridges and stuff like that. So this goes into some definitions on public art.
And then the geographic
Yeah.
focus.
So based off of the comp plan, what area we're kind of focusing on for the plan.
This map is a little bit dated because it says proposed Akusta Trail, and it's there now, at least our part.
Yeah, so this was the map that was adopted in the comprehensive plan.
Mhm.
Because that was adopted right before the trail opened.
Maybe you could take out proposed for us just because it's done, but if not.
I don't know if I can change that.
That's all right. That's all right. I just noticed that.
Yeah. Background about downtown, about 7th Avenue, how the district works, about the program, mission, vision statement, yada, yada, yada. About our current public art programs. Already currently exist. So we've got just the general programs, and then public art that's already.
Right, bless you.
Bless you.
Oh, I do have one comment from early on. Why don't you just call us Community Character Committee? I mean, because you have as a subcommittee. Why don't you just call us committee and these things?
I can do that.
That was one comment I remember from earlier.
Just make sure you write that down somewhere. So that way, because current locations of public art, like as far as physical art, sculptures.
Gesundheit.
This page, I put a note that I need to add some pictures and narrative. I didn't get that finished of just organizations and partners involved. Yeah, I didn't print in color, but some of that's red for the stuff that I gotta add to. So then basic summary of, is this page still in the
No.
background? Okay. I moved on. So then Then you move on to the big page, or at the big page.
Oh, by the way, is there any particular order in the, I know we've talked about the partners and whatnot, because like Friends of Downtown, Art League, Steep, privately owned galleries, those are major contributors to the art in the community versus, and I know we have others as identified, versus Apple Country Woodworkers. I don't know if there's any order to this, but Arts Council is the number one thing on that list. And I'm not sure that should,
I can make it bullets and make it alphabetical.
Just make it alphabetical.
Yeah.
Doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
Could I get a 2-minute brief on what this is?
the whole,
We've been working on it for months. Installation of art in the public.
Wow, it was much minute brief.
because of the new year starting, you only got it last night to really not have much chance to look at it, which is another reason why.
The goal is to implement art.
No, the goal is to, well, yes, to have more public art, but in order to have more public art, you have to figure out where you're going to put it, how you're going to maintain it, who gets to,
Got it.
help do the decision making.
Procedures.
That's that. Right. And it's,
There has not been a council,
Right.
a city centric direction for the art.
And this is a document that will govern that in the future.
Okay.
Got it.
Public art. Whether it's 2 minutes, sculpture,
like Brevard and Greenville.
sidewalk painting.
All these other cities.
Round and round about this for months, and she's done a phenomenal job of organizing it into a document that we can start working from.
I thank you. Now I get it. Hey, got it.
Now you're perfect.
Onward, let's-
And then the back part is a list of, organizations, nonprofits, et cetera, that are involved in visual or public art,
Okay,
or could be.
okay.
And I think that's it on this.
Yeah,
So now we're moving on to another document.
go to the big one.
This is-
The big 11x17 one. So this is what I would see is like, so that first document would be, that general part of the plan. Eventually, what I'd want to do is put all of this in like a binder. That's more of like a working document when it's printed out pretty. But this 11x17 page is kind of what I see is like what we'd be using and referring to, like, anytime we're working on anything, basically, just kind of as a summary sheet. So where it's just kind of a description of what this plan is, that we've got both.
And you're repeating yourself on this, you know that. You have proactive and policy, and then you repeat those exact two statements. Oh, this whole section is repeated twice.
I just copy and pasted it.
So the following and then proactive policy, and then again, you have the following.
Oh, okay.
So this whole section needs to come out. Okay, one thing now.
Okay, so then we've got the goals and the guiding principles that we've already reviewed plenty of times, of just basically anytime we're looking at public art projects, we're going to use those goal guiding principles to guide that.
Almost like a checklist.
Yeah, just are we following what we said we were going to follow? And so then I broke it up into basically 5 things to implement. So that way we can kind of like guide what our steps are.
Are we on page 2 already?
Yeah. So there's basically, I split it up into policy things we need to do and projects. So first on the policy side, that is,
You have one correction under task, the first timeline. I think you mean it. Oh, wait a minute.
mark it because I'm not going to be able to.
Create a working subcommittee to review That timeline, in other words, that's already been done because you have July through December 2025, right?
Yes,
Correct? Okay.
yeah, because we've done that.
All right, just checking.
So first I've got, establish the plan and advisory committee and take it to council. Chris, you have your hand raised for this?
Yeah, I've got to hop off for another meeting and I just wanted to verify, this is very much covering, there's a roundabout, that's planned for the lower end of Main Street. I just wanted to make sure that this committee was aware of that and aware that it's my understanding Watermark is intended to design whatever landscaping and art and all that kind of stuff is going to go in that roundabout. I just wanted to make sure it was on y'all's radar before I had to hop off of here.
Oh, no, it wasn't. So thank you.
Okay. Yeah, that'll be something that this group should definitely be involved with in helping figure out what that roundabout is going to look like down there.
Yeah. Yeah, that'd be great.
Are we
Okay.
talking about a traffic circle?
Yeah.
Thank you.
On the south end of, near where the bicycle path comes in?
Yeah, pretty much where the gateway down at the south end where it's got the Hendersonville sign and Honor Air Park, eventually that's going to be where the roundabout is.
And did he say something about a water park or did I?
That's the landscape.
I didn't say water park.
Water Park. It's the name of the company that.
Oh, Watermark.
That's the landscape design company.
Thank you.
Yeah. But, like I said, it's just something I wanted to get on y'all's radar. And Jamie, there's a traffic meeting, I think next week. I don't know if you're part of that group or not, but it is on the agenda to talk about that roundabout, I think, as part of that meeting. So you might want to see if you can get yourself into that meeting.
Okay. Can you forward it to me?
Yep, sure will.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. Bye, guys.
Thanks.
Bye. That'd be cool to find a way to have our big piece of public art. but-
Yeah, that can be our way of working on this process. So first, establishing the plan and the committee. And then second is kind of looking at that more long-term strategic approach, because a lot of the public art plans, for kind of a longer term thing is like, for a longer term funding, is it like a cent off of the MSD tax rate goes towards public arts, that type of thing. Then we've got into projects, which some of these are things we've already started or are currently working on. One is instead of having our facade grants kind of cover murals, we have more of a mural specific grant. So that way, like with the Linda's built the Art League building, when that grant came through for the mural, we didn't really know how to handle that. So I think just having it as a separate grant program, and we've already kind of drafted that, but I don't have it in here. Project number 2 is those designated planters on Main Street that we talked about, is establishing that rotating sculpture program. And then project number 3 is incorporating additional public art in 7th Avenue, like the benches we've talked about, the like wrapping electrical boxes, just ways to incorporate that into the district.
Jamie, have you heard on the grant yet?
We did not get it, so I reapplied because they're quarterly. So I resubmitted, and so hopefully we'll find out on that.
This
Know
is the
about
pay
this
for
one.
bench, right?
When will we know about this new order?
It will be, I think it's the end of February, and then I can turn around and reapply again in March.
If they keep turning it down, they do tell you why they turn it down?
No, because it's like a national
Oh,
one, so it's probably just a large quantity of people applying for it. I thought it was a pretty good application though, so I'm still feel hopeful.
okay. So on that one, since we're talking, establish plan and proposal for decorative seating, apply for funding. You have it October, December 26. Haven't you been doing it since something in 25?
Yeah, I have not gone back through and updated the dates that are in this section.
Okay, I'll just put a question mark.
Yeah. Because that would just be funding.
Yeah, because you purchased a bench already in
Yeah.
25, so that needs to change.
Mhm. Which this is more of kind of an outline of like, okay, what, that way it kind of stops us from having like new ideas in and get distracting us from finishing what
And having a long list of them.
yeah. Then I just tried to lay out that and kind of get at, still need to add a little bit, tweaking on this. But some of the things already done, like reviewing the streetscape plan for potential locations. So this is kind of that summary sheet. And then moving on to that last document, the implementation. So this was, this one, yeah, this is the one that had just kind of a white sheet, if like.
We're done with this one. Okay.
So this was where I was just trying to pull together the things that we've already kind of made some progress or have some notes together on. So this is all of kind of those implementation things from the big one, just kind of getting into actually doing it. So the first one was establishing the Public Art Committee, Planning Advisory Committee. So this has about forming the committee that we've already gone through and we've talked about with all of that, just kind of the draft for that. And I tried to put together a review process based off of what we talked about there. And I was trying to do some type of flow chart. It was a little more difficult than I thought it would be putting together a flow chart. But just that phase 1 review and phase 2 review that we talked about.
I still think you'll probably end up tweaking more of the committee composition.
Yeah, because that's,
You have to do it right now.
yeah, because that's probably going to be with whenever like the city staff and council start
Mhm.
picking stuff apart. And so then this is kind of that outline of the process. And then, so that's kind of the start of that. And I'm sure that will probably take some additional look at from city departments. The policy number 2, this one, I don't really have a lot for that because that's more things that we're gonna have to
Establish
a
one.
lot deeper in, but I did just put the information that I had put for budgeting because I'd already had that written out.
Do the bears fall under this?
What? Yes.
So there's gonna be okay.
So we already have public.
There's not going to be necessarily changes to things that we're already doing, but anything that's public art related falls under that. Where I think the bears probably would fall is that like the our bear that sells, we could kind of designate that the funds from that bear can go specifically towards public art, something like that.
But that's a rotating art show we have had for how many years? 20 years, something like that?
More than that now, yeah.
There wasn't a governing document for the bears?
Not when it started. I mean, we've kind of developed our own policies, because that's done by the nonprofit.
The Friends of Downtown. It's managed by Jamie. She's the boss of everything.
Gotcha. Okay,
Takes care of a lot.
all right. We're just
Yeah.
streamlining the process.
We
Okay.
need to make sure that the Artscape program somehow fits any,
It's in here.
isn't, yeah, I mean, it's in here, but are there any guidelines that we aren't?
Changed for us, yeah. And actually, the number is different too. Of course, we were talking of, this is mostly talking about downtown, but it's 40 in the downtown area, right?
Including Seventh Avenue.
That's downtown. And then 30 more in Park.
Has there been research regarding other cities like Greenville, Charlotte?
Yeah, that's what a lot of this is taken from.
Copy and pasted. I do think it's worth a field trip to at least one of these cities.
Yeah, I think that'd
We
be.
talked about going to Greenville.
I love the mice in Greenville, just.
We have.
apples that nobody knows about.
Yeah, nobody knows about. I went to the tourism TDA and got the little brochure. And on my own, there's one not existing that over by where the teens little center used to be. You can't find it over where, is it Posteros on the corner? Yeah, you can't find that.
I wonder.
Anyway, if we consolidate it all eventually into a brochure, when people want to know about public art. It would include the bears, it would include Arscape, hopefully mention some apples thrown in there.
Yeah, we think about the apples in our downtown map,
Mhm.
and we have about all of that in the map.
People just don't read.
I also think we should create a program called Where's Hendo? And have some kind of Hendo character, like Where's Waldo?
Well, what my point is that there needs to be a marketing plan that supports.
Yeah, and that's coming after we get through this part.
Gotcha. Okay.
And that's also with the TDA is who has the
Yeah.
funds and the ability to do that.
It would be nice to have all of the public art in one brochure because we produce the artscape
Mhm.
every year.
Mhm.
And truthfully, they're typically in the same location. So perhaps a brochure that has a longer life cycle
Shelf life.
here, because we end up throwing a lot.
Who handles the city market,
The what?
the city marketing plan, or is there a marketing?
The TDA and the tourism does the marketing for the area. We market our events and downtown businesses,
Okay.
but the TDA is the Tourism Development Authority, and they operate off of the lodging tags.
They got all the money.
My turn. My turn. Before we skip over the committee makeup, I got a comment here. We beat this bush a couple of times, I understand. Now it's been reduced to 6 members, and I know even that's just accurate. But we need to make sure, and I think it should be done right from the beginning, that the committee has the expertise local, because there is not one guaranteed position for this committee based on this description by a local expert or somebody who's knowledgeable about art, public art, because you've got a city council non-voting. You've got 2 representatives with expertise. They don't even live here. Right? They're from outside. And 1 representative appointed from the advisory board does not guarantee they know anything about art. And 4 at-large members does not guarantee anything.
So we'd had that before, because I know I just copy and pasted this from when we reviewed it before, and I know I had initially had something about expertise in there.
Oh, you have it in
We
here.
had 9 positions.
But whenever we,
I just looked at Concords, they have between 11 and 15.
Yeah, but that's why we said this is not finalized. I think
Yeah.
But
we'll-
I'm just saying that, if we're going over this, the budget and so forth, we need to make sure that it's evident that we have to have that
Well, we're really
expertise
not
on
going
the
to make
committee,
individual changes, right? Are we?
supplied by the local,
Mhm.
you know.
Well, but the 2 representatives, it says may be located,
No.
I see that, but they don't necessarily have to be.
And what
Maybe.
defines local? Like, obviously, because there's a lot of gray. Like, what defines local? Is it someone just coming in?
Henderson County.
that's typically with
I
the,
would say Western North Carolina is local.
You know what I'm saying? Because it
Well, this is,
terms like, but I agree, there needs to be like a local influence, obviously.
yeah, I mean, this is a city
Mhm.
effort.
Correct.
Right?
Yeah.
And so in the context of local, it should be city / at large,
Mhm.
right? Because we do that with our advisory board, we do it with
Mhm.
any number of things, you can be outside Hendersonville in the county,
Right,
but you won't be coming from Buncombe.
that's exactly, it's like a definition of what that means.
But what this refers to are quasi experts from outside
Right.
who already have experience with
Right.
public art,
Right,
so forth. And if we need consultation,
Yeah.
support, then we can reach out to them.
Yeah,
I think my position on that is that it should be on an as need.
Right. I agree with that.
I don't think it's a committee position.
I don't think you'll be able to convince anyone unless we paid them to be on the committee if they're outside experts on this. I agree with it. And I think,
Advisors.
well, just what as needed basis, we may have to bring in, somebody to talk.
Yeah, I think, and I'm trying to remember when we talked about this, because we had changed a lot whenever we'd kind of gone through it. However, whenever it was. And so I was thinking when we had as recommended by the visual arts organizations because they would be the ones who would have they would know who the expertise was, right?
Here's the thing, everything about art is an opinion. And the truth is, whoever gets on this committee, after one term may decide, I don't want to be on this, because once you pick something, somebody's not gonna like what you pick.
Yeah, but
And these outside people, I agree with what you're saying. That's more of if we need a little bit of consultation or education,
yeah.
what we're going through
Mhm.
versus art gallery owners and, retail people who know how to sell or whatever, it's promotion. We have art, we have sculptors that would probably want to be a part of this too, local ones.
Yeah, 'cause it-
Said they would want.
That's the main thing is having people who have gone through whether here or not, some type of public art installation process, the type of materials, types of problems that could be, type of maintenance, that type of thing.
And I still have said, I've got this one artist, Susan Perry, who has worked with public art in Charlotte. And she lives in upstate South Carolina, and she could come and just give a talk on she would do it, I'm sure, just as helping us,
Yeah.
not charging us, but so that kind of thing.
It'll be hard for us to find experts. I mean, through the North Carolina Arts Council, I'll be going to their meetings again in April. And I mean, they've got a newsletter. I can reach out.
Yeah.
And
What they have about public art.
we can do a call for a consultant to work with us. I mean, at the meetings.
But that's paying.
They're all, no, I think some of them would even.
Well, that would be good.
Yeah, I mean, they're all for arts in North Carolina. I mean, they're supporting everything everyone does, so.
I'll go back to, our earlier discussion about the members, the committee makeup. And I mean, Arts Council, I know has, doesn't have the bandwidth. And whether or not there's a seat on the committee, I don't know. But there should definitely be a seat for the Art League. There's too many members, too big a segment of the art community here that there's not a fixed permanent seat for the league to participate.
Yeah.
Right? Everybody else be damned. As far as I'm concerned, because they're not going anywhere. It will be a key part of this, and they've got programs.
Yeah.
Blowing your horn, man.
And we have programs.
That's very nice.
I think that's, that needs to be.
Yeah.
In bold.
I agree.
The TDA representative, since they're big on tourism.
I'm
I
not.
think we already kind of went through all of that.
Okay.
Yeah, well, yeah, and we went through, because we had initially had other representatives
yeah.
and we pulled them out.
Yeah.
They don't market art.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna.
I think it'll be, like I said, I think it's gonna be a working piece of clay.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
once we take
Get
the,
it going. I
Yeah,
think
'cause they-
get their support, but at this point, they're
Yeah.
not focused on art.
No, but I mean, this committee and how we do it. I think if we have one, we already have going on in here, identify projects like murals, but also the platform, whatever you call them on Main Street that are available for public art. So this committee, once it gets started,
got a lot to do.
PAC, Public Art Advisory Committee. It'll be interesting to see.
So I'll, and if you see any other like language.
You add, heard, a suggestion that a art league representative.
Well, back in the very first section, we list the potential
Yeah, but
organizations and the art league is there.
no, but this is
Yeah, well, that's-
specifically on this committee.
Section,
Let's
Yeah.
put you on the committee.
No,
yep. Okay,
that's just like input and
Yeah,
organizations that are involved in art, public art.
that, and I'm not saying that this is what they'll say, but the only thing that they might want as a suggestion is the Arts Council, even though they're not, doing too great here, that is, arts councils are a government tie. There is a government tie with arts councils in general in North Carolina. So that there might be something that comes about from,
Well, if,
but I'm just like,
yeah,
because arts council has the government money to then
I think
distribute,
it
yeah.
has to be on the.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so
as long
too.
as they exist.
Yeah,
they should be on the
yeah.
committee. Because it would be expected that an arts council would. be
Yeah.
on the committee.
Absolutely.
and if it's for some reason not local, it's still North Carolina Arts Council has representatives for the area. If for some reason the local arts council.
Yeah. Okay, so we'll kind of keep sending me any kind of suggestions, because my next step would be also taking this to the staff and,
Did you want written feedback from us?
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, either if you like, just write it on there and, bring it back to me or scan it in, or just give me a list of notes
About all of.
any of it.
All of these. So should we make it a goal to get it back to you before the next meeting?
Okay.
Like a week before the next
I
meeting?
think it should be in the next 2 weeks.
Well,
Give her
yeah.
time.
Well, that's yeah, weeks would give her 2 more weeks. So by what date, Elise, should we get this back to you? And anybody who wants to, that's not here, but.
2 weeks from today is the 20th. That work?
It works for me.
Okay. So the 20th of January. Okay, that's perfect. And you bring them by this office. Oh, yeah.
Not here.
That one's hard to get into. It's easier to get into this building. Can we leave it to you here?
This is locked if you're not here though.
Yeah, you can just let me know. Or you can bring it to me however.
Wherever you can catch her.
If by the 20th you don't hear from some committee members,
Kind
do
of.
you want me to try to call them and find out? Just let me know.
Okay.
And I'll help to do it. Send a reminder on the 19th or the 18th. No, before that.
Okay.
Like a reminder on the 16th to everybody. So. The subcommittee of the subcommittee of the subcommittee could always meet and we could all sit around with a glass of wine and go through it. This is a great moving forward step, so.
All the other things in this implementation part is really the stuff that like, it's kind of a starting point for us to then go into kind of individually, like the sculpture plan, we've kind of got for the planters, we've kind of got the base for it. And so then once we get this going, then we can kind of really figure out that process for that, which we've got a lot already there. Phil's sent me a lot and I've got it kind of started in there of how we do that.
Okay.
Have there been any discussion yet around potential funding levels? I know the channels, but I mean, if we're trying to kick this off, in late
For the
spring.
sculptures, for the sculptures specifically.
Sculptures,
Or
yeah.
maintenance or all.
I think that we would be able to have some, if we can figure out the budget for it, I think we can find some from the Friends that can prop it up, because we've had good, successful events, and we're getting more money from the TDA, which goes towards events, but that frees up money that we make from events to go towards things like this. So I think we'll have the money to be able to do it.
To lease our
To
project.
start it, yeah. Mhm.
Leasing art or.
Yeah, because how the prices that you had kind of figured for it weren't anything that I think's
No.
unattainable amount. Like I think from what you said, I think that's unattainable.
What'd you say?
It was like $1,000.
To lease one? For a year? Is this, are we talking leasing art or what?
No,
Or maybe putting it up?
Leasing it. There's a
Rotate.
stipend paid to the.
Oh, yeah, that.
Up front, anywhere from $1,000 to $3,000, depending on the value and, you know.
What kind,
To display their art for a year.
kind of fundraising? Is there any fundraising?
Not yet.
That's talking about.
Well, that's the air,
From the Friends of Downtown to at least get it started.
yeah, the events that we do can go towards.
We already have places on Main Street. We have physical places where we could display some public art. There's programs in the state that you can go through. You can lease people's art, and there is a stipend that they get for allowing us to keep their art. And then, of course, there's a little bit of this putting it properly in place that we have to pay for, and then
And that would be,
those kind of things. And then we'd have art for like a year. There's cities that already borrow art for public art.
Yeah.
And they could rotate from one city to another as
Yeah.
well. So that's what,
and then how Phil had looked at it, like they could sell to, which they would only sell at the conclusion at it. Or if it's something that we really like, we might want to buy it
yeah.
and leave it there.
So the
Yeah.
Friends of Downtown is a nonprofit organization.
Sorry.
The events that the city has brings money into that nonprofit, and that's where we're gonna start the program with. Then after that, we'll find other fundraising ways, grants and things like that.
And then like when there's any type of bit, like what Chris is talking about with the roundabouts, like any type of projects like that, there's typically the money that's built in for some amounts of, you know,
Dressing it up.
yeah, yeah. And some places, some cities require it for certain levels of private property development. Like I think it was in downtown Asheville, like when there was new construction on like hotel or something, they were required to have some amount of like public art incorporated into their development. So like say at South Main Street, some of the buildings got, like somebody decided they wanted to build some type of new development that's a certain size on South Main Street. If we created a ordinance for it, it could have some requirements on these private properties to have public art incorporated into their public space.
Speaking of, on 7th Street, further on the other past White Duck Taco on the left, is it a real estate company that
A new mural.
put a mural outside, which is gorgeous. So we get more things like that. But this is going to expand because the Acoustic Trail nonprofit, they already approached because of Art League. They said, do you know how we can get public art on the trail? Because that thing's taken off gangbusters. So, I mean, everything we can do, and we already have promotional things about the arts here. The Bears, we're already on we're a mural city. We have things, the more we have to promote our arts, the more it makes our community very attractive. And it sounds like this circus, as they call them, I think, in Europe, down on.
Circuses?
I think they do.
Oh, roundabout circuses in Europe?
They do. I could be wrong. Well-traveled people, feel free to.
I don't know, never been to Europe.
But if that would be a cool welcome to the city, with public art there.
It's interesting, the Western North Carolina Community Foundation does grants that are community enhancement, which is the grant we got for Artscape for last year. But our community foundation does not do any grants like that.
They have funded, like they funded some of Steep's murals, projects, and they did some funding for the fountain. So they'll fund like
Those categories then are just projects, I guess, that.
Yeah, probably.
nonprofits.
Yeah.
Whereas Western North Carolina actually has a whole
One-
category for community enhancement, which I think is interesting. And I know we're getting a new director of the,
Have they hired somebody?
not yet.
Okay.
Yeah, that's gonna take some time.
Yeah, and I'm sure there's probably just different like donor advised funds there, like but all of that and all of these different funds, we got to have projects kind of planned out.
Yeah.
So we can have that.
We're all, well, many of us are nonprofits, so
Yeah.
it's like, I don't want to use up my ask
Oh, yeah. Mhm.
for a public art project when then I can only, I can't go back for another year for another
Yeah.
project. So somehow, if there is a way for us to, I don't know, should our
Yeah, work together. on it.
Implications in
Yeah.
terms of
Yeah.
how we overlap when we're out
Yeah.
asking for funding.
Opposed to things like the sculpture program, like for and this is more what we'd have to figure out is if it makes more sense to be like, if the art league is who it handles the stipends with funding for it, and then the sale, like there's some kind of partnership with some of the arts nonprofits to administer
Mhm.
something like that. I'm kind of open on any of that, really, that it doesn't necessarily have to be the city or the Friends that are the ones managing it necessarily, just like how y'all do the banners without really us being involved with it. So.
What?
With that being said, it's 10 o'clock. I was just wondering if, so now everybody is going to work on editing and any comments that they're going to get to Jamie by the 20th, and she's going to remind us by the 16th. And then we have an informal discussion, the one bench that is somewhere being created.
Done. It's just getting our public works guys.
Do you have a picture of it, or do you not want us to
Yeah.
see it?
Not the unveiling.
Let me.
The bench.
Yeah, by the way, I Googled circus can refer to a traffic circle, especially in older British English, names like Piccadilly Circus. Yeah, so there you go.
I don't have a picture of it with the top on it, but let me send,
Well, that's okay. We want to see the art.
let me put it up on the screen.
I know.
I thought I had seen it.
Squeezed into sound asleep and whatever bench I saw over there.
It was somebody.
Is there a bench on Seventh Avenue?
Right.
It was
Oh,
actually
your
my bench.
sofa.
It was my
was.
bench.
This person was sound asleep. when I
Bless her
drove
heart.
in.
I've had that multiple
Is that the
times.
same woman who's
I
around all the
don't,
time?
and no, well, I don't know, honestly, but yeah, we've had some
Yeah.
hotel,
Is there any more informal discussion other than Jamie looking for that picture that we need to have in the official meeting?
where would you suggest, sorry. Go ahead.
We adjourn.
I had a question though. What do you have?
Where would you suggest that I can get up to date on? Is there any written documents or any past history? This is it. This is where I start.
Yes.
Got it.
Yeah, this is where we're at today and we're
And this is
still
where
gonna
we're
work
starting.
on it.
And if you ever are interested, all like on the city's website, all of the city's boards and committees
Yeah.
minutes are all online.
Okay.
But it's recordings of meetings and everything.
There's 3 or 4 different cities that we've
Looked at as
brought
well.
to the surface that have public art programs, and going to their website and
Charlotte,
viewing what
Greenville.
they have just gives you an idea of kind of the direction that we
Okay,
think we might want to go.
cool.
I'm trying to figure
So
out.
this is what y'all been doing, huh?
The new stuff. We used to do other stuff. And then after we finish this, we're going to talk about where you park bikes and motorcycles on Main Street and Seventh Avenue, but that's later. We want to focus on this one now.
Yeah.
If you go to the city's website, government advisory boards and committees. Where am I at? No, that's not it.
On the left, doesn't it have all the boards and committees? You just go down.
Meeting agendas and minutes. So this has all of the city's meetings, minutes for all the boards and committees. And if you go to downtown advisory board, you'll see all of ours from the last.
You'll see all our discussions on this.
Yeah.
Hours and hours of viewing.
Fun.
Highly.
I got all the time in the world.
You do it. Highly recommend you do it.
At bedtime.
She's not looking at me. Highly recommend you do it.
Well, there's no use of hashing out the past. We gotta move forward, huh?
But if you want to know, there's plenty of reading that you can do on that.
Are you looking for your picture still?
Yeah, sorry. So this is it without the seat cover on it. So,
So this is incorporating the mosaic thing.
yep.
Cool.
Just little fun things that they incorporated in. And then the outside, which I don't have this on the picture, that it kind of just trails along on the outside too.
Does the bench fit inside? So you
Yeah,
see those cap things?
The seat will be there, so you really kind of have to get in and look at it for the logo, but you'll see it. It's
It looks like then if we do more of these benches, it's really the edges that are the art.
yeah,
Yeah, under.
yeah, for that low profile one. Yeah.
They do a great job.
Yeah.
It's colorful.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought they were gonna put it out before the holidays, but
Seating place.
yeah, I thought they were, it's ready to put out. I think that it's just finding enough public works guys to lift it.
And Gigi, we went through quite a process and part of it is it is not to encourage it as an outdoor campsite.
I saw that. I see the curb. I see the edges.
There's a straight bench across the top, but it's not very long. It's like, what?
Yeah, it's just a flat bench.
It's a flat bench about 4 feet, 4.5.
Put lights on it.
And encourage me when Mick said something about, I just walk out and say, it's time to move along. He goes, they get up and move along.
Yeah, that's true. That is true.
Is there a back?
No,
Yeah, so that it won't be that comfortable because if you are trying to sleep and you roll over, you're gonna roll up.
I understand. I will tell you that they're very creative.
Yeah.
yeah, if you go back to, if on here, you go to like we don't have them all, I don't have them all linked here, but we got a YouTube that has the meeting, so you can find a very lively discussion about benches from that.
Yeah, because we looked at several.
Took a long time.
We chose this one to try it out, kind of. It's not like definitely that's what's going to be everywhere just yet, but
Yeah,
we really
That's
felt.
a prototype. We're gonna try it. Gotcha.
yeah. I think it's, July. That's a very long, lively discussion about benches.
What it used to be.
Yeah.
Okay. So we're using something, you're taking it forward in a new form.
Yeah. Are you going to do?
It's wonderful to do that.
Very cool.
Because they're from
All right,
fuselage.
Nancy?
We're gonna adjourn.
And very expensive,
I know.
much more than we wanted to.
Chairperson.
If we get
Yes,
But I-
we are dismissed.